All right, all right. Let's go. It's about time, my friends. Let's go. Music's going off. We're ready to rock and roll. What up, my friends? Good morning, good morning, good morning. On your right side, on my left, you are looking at the new projections history tab because I have always been somebody who's tried my best to lead with transparency. How sick is this? So, no matter what sport you look at for the site, MLB, NBA, NFL, you can now look at all overs, all unders. You can look at all the different markets that we project for every single sport, every single different bet grade. You can look at the summary totals. You can look at individuals. You can look at previous seasons. Now, some of this stuff is still being uploaded like previous years of MLB. We have the NFL previous seasons. Like if you wanted to look at, here, I'm going to clear all filters really quick. Like let's say you wanted to see, all right, Mitch, how have all the projections done for NFL? Yeah, you could simply scroll, or if you wanted to, you could go simply by, each individual season. Now, again, NFL player props was new last year, so you can go back previous years. I think break-even odds is like a 52.3%. That's like a minus 110, odds or so. So you can go back and look at previous seasons. You're going to see most sides and totals out there being, 52, 53% at minus 110. And the money lines should be a higher win rate, of course. So, of course, then you could look at overalls. And when you see that, you can see, well, totals overall have been a little bit better than the spreads. Spreads basically at a break-even odds. So if you played all, 1,000 or so total spread bets, you would just break even. That would be your historical results over 4 years, and so on and so forth. And then for player props, of course, things are going to be a little bit different. You can select games or players. And, for a sport like NBA, this is extremely important. Let me figure out what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I got to select all. Let's say, because I keep banging the pulpit here, and I keep saying bet on the A's and to bet on the unders. And why? Look at the win rates. Again, about a minus 110 odds at 52.3% would be your implied probability. Everything above this mathematically would mostly be profitable. Probably wouldn't want to touch rebounds that low, but you have a little edge here. You've got a nice edge here under points, bet A's, points and assist even higher, rebounds and assist even higher, and assist outright higher. Now, Mitch, sometimes there's not a lot of assist unders. There's only like 4 or 5 per slate. Okay. Play some of the others, or go check out the B's. Here's the B unders. Well, look at that. Rebounds and assists, 57%. So the A's for rebound and assists. And if you're like, well, what about all of them? Well, let's look at this. So we're going to go to RA. And we're going to select all bet grades. Check it out. You can look at individuals. Here's the all A's. 58% win rate for rebounds and assists to the under. 57.2% rebounds and assists to the under for B's. Let's see. What if I do all A's and B's? All right. So I got to adjust those filter settings. That should be able to show all A's and B's. This is, we just got this up at like 3 a.m. So I think this is a game changer because what I envision is people simply just going back and forth. Like, okay, I just looked at the history. I know that rebounds and assists is a really good market. By the way, if you ever see any like A pluses, oh my gosh, those have been locking loads. Well, you go back and forth, right? So, and by the way, here's what it looks like on mobile. They're just in their individual, I don't know what you call them, cells, blocks, whatever. But you can go back and forth on mobile same way. But anyways, you could look at this and be like, all right, rebounds and assists, A grades, B grades, we got a decent sample size at this point. You're looking at close to 500 or so bets, almost 58% win rate. All right. So I go to the projections for the day. I'm going to select unders. I'm going to go to the rebounds and assists. There you go. With this morning so far, the best grade is a C plus. Guess what? Don't touch C's. All right. So nothing on the board for this small 5-game slate at 9 a.m. Remember, projections update hourly. Automated projections updated hourly on the site. So, yeah, this is going to be absolutely massive for MLB, which I'll show you next for strikeouts because that's going to be a dub. So we come back here and we're like, all right, no RAs right now. All right, let's check out all the markets again. Let's take a look. Assists. All right, let's go to assists. Assists is, the next best it looks like. All right, so let's go to assists. Actually, assists was the best for A's. All A's, 61%. All B's, 55%. All right, let's look for an assist under at A or B. All right, we got some no A's this morning. Again, very small slate. We're still waiting on injury news. VJ Edgecombe, under 4.5 assists. We project for 3.8. That's a B plus. Quentin Grimes, under 4.5. That's a B plus. Pat Spencer for the Warriors, under 5.5. And then individually, if you want to go into each, player card and go see how they've been doing at those numbers, you want to look at the odds, you want to deep link bet it, by all means, you can do that. All right, I'm going to take it on no big this morning, minus 169. Oh, that's just increased. Beautiful, minus 162. So not bad. Really slick way to bet. Anytime I can see a player card and it kind of the trends back up the historical data and the projection. Oh my. Yes. And that's the thing. So you have to be, and I said this yesterday and it didn't matter. And, here's a question for you, I guess, Yoel and the rest of the community. The simulations, they take into account all of it, right? So like yesterday, I had posted 4 of the, best A unders to the My Sparry Edge chat inside Discord. And I said, hey, y'all, here are 4 under assists and rebounds, assists, whatever they were. And Ryan Rollins was one of them. And it was under 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. But I left a little note when I posted it for everybody because I said, listen, 10,000 simulations later, and the AI has updated it for 9 hours, and Giannis is out, Kuzma's out, Kevin Porter Jr. is out. Ryan Rollins might play 40-plus minutes tonight if he's needed in a close game, and the 27.5 is going to be, he's going to breeze past it. Well, guess what? They got blown out by 30 points. He finished with like 23 RA and only played 30 minutes of action. The model loved the under, even if the top 3 or 4 guys were out for the team. Now, tonight, when you look at this, you're going to see stuff like that. Well, guess what? That's kind of the decision everyone needs to make at this point in the year. At the end of the NBA season, you're going to have injuries left and right every single night. Some teams are missing their alpha, their 1A and 1B options. Some teams are missing all 3 of their best players. It is a debacle the last month of the NBA, and we're definitely right there. We're in the thick of it. I think there's 15, 16 games left off the top of my head, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's 15 or 16 left. So we're getting to a point here where, you're going to have some teams that are an absolute disaster. So I think you need to be careful. Now, if you've noticed for the last, week or so, I've been posting like an early morning bets. Here are my favorite for the day. Yesterday, those went 3-1. Jalen Suggs hooked at 22 PA when I needed under 21.5. He went back in there in a 30-point blowout in the fourth quarter, picked up assist. Actually, it was like a breakaway dunk, if I'm not mistaken. And then they called timeout, took all the starters out again. It was so annoying. But I digress. I don't have an early bet this morning because I look at this slate and I'm like, geez, like, what are we betting on? There's nothing that we can hang our hats on and be like, yeah, I feel really good about this slate, this pick, this betting angle. I think it's a little difficult. So I think people need to be mindful of when they're using this history. I think most days it's going to be pretty darn good, especially like a larger slate. But I'm not entirely sure that certain days where you're missing 2 guys like Maxey and Embiid, of how much you can hang your hat on some of these unders, like Edgecombe and Grimes. Like they legitimately, and Kelly Oubre Jr. too, they legitimately might play 36 plus minutes. If the game is close, 40 minutes. I mean, they can fall into 5 assists and chalk you with ease. With ease. You know, and you could do this. Here's something I want to show you. Like, what if you're like, well, yo, Mitch, let's check out Quentin Grimes. What's his minutes been like lately? All right. So, like, here's an example yesterday or on the 7th. You know, missing bodies, close game. Grimes played 41 minutes. All right. So you could essentially look at that and be like, all right, I think he's going to play more. Your 29.1 is too low. Projected minutes. Okay. Well, watch. Adjust his minutes. What do you think he's at? 36? You think he plays 36 today? No, Mitch, I aggregate my projections. I have him at 37.3 across, 3 projection sets. Okay. At 37.3 minutes, his projection would move up to a 4.36 based on our model variables that we have, the inputs on the back end for you. And there you go. Now this is no longer a good bet. The under 4.5 assists. So you have the power to adjust this to how you want to experience the slate. Does that make sense? All right. So hopefully this helps some people out. I think that, the history tab is going to be extremely important. Let's take a quick look at MLB and then let's find some bets for the day because that's why you're here. That's why you're here. You are here for the bets. All right. So I'm going to clear the filters because this is my first, you are watching my first experience with this. I woke up to this. I saw text at 3 a.m. It was like fixed, history tabs fixed. Go for it. So you're watching me use it for the first time. I took some screenshots this morning while I was getting the kids ready for school. But you're watching me click around and try to figure out exactly, how smooth it is and if we need to tweak anything. Anyways, we got MLB coming up next, and then we're going to talk about NBA. Give me like 2 minutes to talk about MLB. By the way, the 50 people that are watching, if you don't know, brand new channel. This is not you might be confused. You've seen me over and over again all year for NFL and doing all the other stuff for the bets and the picks and all the stuff like that. Those live shows. That's the other YouTube channel, the one with 49,800 or something subscribers. This, I just relaunched. This is my initial channel that died in 2022. I relaunched it last Tuesday. So make sure you subscribe. You're most likely watching this show right now and don't even realize you're not subscribed to this channel. Subscribe to it now, like the show as usual. This is a brand new channel. And every single time I've done these shows, people are like, whoa, this is new. Hey, I'm down here now. Hey, what's up? So MLB coming up, strikeouts. Here's what we did. Now, our strikeout projections last year, we had way more. I mean, literally like 800 or so over the course of the season. The problem and why you don't see them all up here, what we ended up only being able to add and convert were our best bets of the day. Do you remember the best bets? We did 3-unit bets on them. Well, here's the problem. We had initially been tracking them through something different. Then we switched to the Google Sheet on July 1st. So all we have is the MLB projections from July 1st through whatever, September 10th or something like that. And then we called it and we're like, no more officials. It's NFL season or August 30th, whatever it was. It was like right before leading up to the first week of the NFL season, which I believe started like September 4th. So you've got like 80 or so days of best bets for the strikeouts. So you won't see like a massive sample size, but you can see to close out the season, 59% of the strikeout props that we had posted had cashed out. And I believe like the longer list that we used to post, it was like 57%. There was a slight differential. And then whenever we saw the A pluses to close out the year, that's when we were hammering the whatchamacallits. I'm blanking. Was it 3 units? It was 3 units, right? It was 3-unit bets. So it was a fun year. And I'm very excited to run it back. Now, the spreads, by the way, MLB, I just want to clarify, MLB spread betting, this is run lines. So NHL is puck line, MLB run line, NBA spread, NFL spread. They're all the same on the history tab. So Spreads are, run lines for MLB. And listen, I mean, I talked about it before. A lot of the run lines, you're getting minus 110-ish on a lot of those, regardless of what the number is, minus 1.5, minus 2.5, so on and so forth. 55.25%. You're going to walk away with some profit. Totals, a little bit more difficult for MLB last year, under the break even of a 52.3%, 52.28%, whatever it is, at a minus 110 odds. So those are a little touch and go. 1,061 wins, 1,064 losses. Nothing to hide here. They, we want you to see them because we want you to make some really good decisions on your own when, people aren't posting stuff every single day for a game. You'll get game bets in there for sure. But, we want you to be able to make your own decisions as you go. Let me show you a little sneak peek of something we're building for MLB too, and then let's go make some NBA bets because I know most of you are waiting. We are putting up quite the experience this season. Now, here is a screenshot. This is a screenshot of a concept that's being built. So we're going to have a summary of the games, projections, game breakdowns. It's going to talk about the model, what we project, why we project it the way it did through the model. Pretty cool. So each game essentially will be on the site with like a full breakdown, like you would see like an article written. I'm very excited about that, and that's going to be on the website too. So if you're looking around, you're wondering, mysprairyedge.com. I pinned the link in chat. I'll repost it again. And of course, you can always get that down below in the description section. All right. Woo! A 15-minute solo act. Didn't even say hi to chat yet. Different channel, same bald head. You got it, Metal Gamer. Ain't nothing to hide. You got to embrace it when you're old. That's funny. Same bald head, new channel. But yeah, grab that link. I'm telling you all right now, I think this is a nice product to grow together. You're getting in at the ground floor. And I'll say this too. We are adding things to the site. And you can see up at the top, maybe it's blurred out for some of you. Do you see this? DFS Optimizer, like we got new tools coming soon. We're just going to constantly build and make it better and better and better. Better and better and better. I'm so excited about the future. So excited. Let's make some NBA bets. So I talked about this before. I like to start every day on the trends tab. Now, am I a trends better? Absolutely not. I legitimately do not like them. They're irrelevant to me. They are solid to be your compass. I'm the only person in the industry that says this over and over again. You heard me. That is a phrase I do not use lightly, saying I'm the only person in the industry. I don't say that often, but when I do, it's a bold proclamation, I know. But when I do, I very much think that I am. Every single tweet, every single post, everything out there is like, 9 of the last 10 games. Well, why? Maybe somebody was hurt and that person's back. Maybe they got thrust in the starting lineup for a week. Did they have good matchups? So be mindful of what this is. It's just telling you, here's how they've been doing recently, but not why. Okay? Not why. But I think there are certain times you can look at a player and you see certain numbers and you're like, that's too low. You just know certain numbers and certain lines are too low for them because at 65 games into the season, their role, the construct of what they're supposed to do within their offense based on matchups. The certain numbers are easier to hit than others because of their shot volume, their usage rates, things like that. And it starts to add up. So I do like to breeze through this daily to find out, are any of these guys at the numbers that I like to see? And one of them being like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If I saw 29.5 points line by using the trends tool, I know, okay, that line might be a little too low today. That's something I want to play. Or what about Cason Wallace at 2.5 assists? Well, he's going to continue to play a fair amount of minutes for the Thunder as they're still missing Jay Williams. And you can see, the minutes have been crazy. I'm zoomed in quite a bit here because I'm on PC and I want people who are watching on their YouTube app to see really well. But at 30-ish minutes, 2 assists, 2.5 assists has been sweaty at times, 2, 3, 3, 3. I think we're going to get a pretty competitive game tonight against the Thunder. The problem is he's just really juiced. Like if I'm running this over here on Novig, again, all I did was click this -175 as deep linked to my favorite exchange, and boom, you can run it over here if you'd like. But you need something with it. You got to have some type of juice cutter, an alternate line, something like that. I'm not terribly against playing a -169 if it's a good value, right? It's got to be a good value. I don't want to play a -169 if it's not a good value in comparison to these other books. It just is almost irrelevant to me at that point. And I also don't like to parlay, but I think there's some parlay options today. And I want to go back to the trends tool because one of them is honestly the greatest play on earth. And I'm going to show you this right now. So I'm going to go to the points and watch this. I'm going to set the line to 19.5. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to show you their hit rates at those numbers. So basically at 20 plus points, here are their hit rates. Kawhi Leonard has had 20 plus points in 46 of 49 games. Jokic, 44 of 48. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has had 20 plus points in all 53 games. Let's say I'm running this over here on DK right now, simply because I had this open because I was working through this morning on my own. I had Case and Wallace at 3+ assists. We'll just make a quick little SGP. Now, if you run out Jokic at 20 plus, as we saw, he had done so in 54 or 58 games. Now you got yourself a -125 within that same game. SGA, look, do you want to play SGA at a -4,500? No, it does nothing for you. It's just a risk. That's all it is. So he's irrelevant to me. That stat is irrelevant to me using the trends tool. But we also saw that, Kawhi Leonard at 20 plus points has been a lock and load. He's a -499, a little bit better than Jokic. Not in the same game, though. But you could run this out and run a little 3-piece parlay. If I'm ever using alternate lines, I'm telling you this right now, I better be getting plus odds, +116. So that's a really interesting angle to start your day. And I just kind of wanted to show how I would go about using the trends tool. It's really just to be a compass to find things out for you, to help you do, work through some of these different angles. And, if you ever wonder, you're like, well, Mitch, does it work? Is it working? Do you do well using this? I mean, you all use the parlay pieces that I post daily, right? Well, the parlay pieces have 9 sweeps in 29 days. 9 full sweeps, parlays, +400 to +1,700. 9 in 29 days. Yeah, it works. Like, how much proof do you need? Here was yesterday's. Oh, no, this is today's. I don't want to show it. You got to go grab it inside Discord, whatever. Let me show you yesterday's. And that's all I do. I literally I open up the tool. I bounce around the trends tool. I find players. And then I like to go to their player cards and verify, right? So like Kawhi Leonard, check it out. It's going to pop open his points prop. Now I can click. Do I have the right screen on? Yes, streaming. Okay. I can click right here and I can actually check alternate lines versus original lines. Pretty cool. So original lines at 26.5, alt at 19.5, and I can see the line moves. He's hit that 100% of the time, 94% of the time in the season, so on and so forth. Well, what if he plays like a full complement of, minutes? He's not injured. All right. Does the all change? No. So you can adjust the minutes filter right there. Games, field goal attempts, all that stuff. It's all there. But I can see, okay, yeah, Kawhi Leonard, pretty darn good. Against the Knicks, going to be probably a really close game at home. I can't imagine he doesn't play a lot of time tonight. So, yesterday, here was the list. These were all the plays that I found. And Brandon Miller, massive sell job. He had 11 points at halftime. 11 points. How many did he finish with? Bro finished with 11. Did not score a single bucket in the second half. Ran into foul trouble and went 0 for 5 from the floor. Missed 2 wide open 3-pointers. Disgusting. Oh, but I told you it worked, right? You're like, well, Donuts, you said this worked. Well, yeah, 9 sweeps in 29 posts. 9. Well, here was the day prior. And we cashed this one out. We were going for back-to-back sweeps. Yesterday, we bricked a back-to-back sweep from a Brandon Miller all-time sell job. 11 points at halftime, finishes with 11 points. Needed 4 more. Kid is averaging like 22 points a game. He's been a bucket all year. He was red hot. So, yeah, does it work? Yeah, it works. My process works. So there you go. You got a nice little 3-piece banger, plus 116 to start your show. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm going down my checklist of items I wanted to talk about. Here's one. So, again, the trends tool, I very much use it just to find it's just my compass. It does not give me plays. It helps me find plays. It helps me refine my process. It does not give me plays, though. Now, Darius Garland against the Knicks. We played him the other day at points and assists 20.5. They barely moved his lineup, despite the fact that Darius Garland will continue to get minutes as he gets healthier. I mean, he played no basketball for 2 months. He's on a new team, but his minutes, 23, 24, 26, and I don't even believe that was a close game. I'm fairly certain they blew out Memphis Grizzlies. Chat, do me a favor. If you are enjoying the show, tell the people in chat. The second thing I'm asking for today, if you are enjoying the new product, mysprayhits.com, and you're a user right now, tell the people in chat what you like the most. Is it the projections? Is it the trends tool? Is it, by the way, I didn't even go to the positive EV optimizer yet. Is it the odds board? Is it the deep linking? Is it the customization for the filters? What is it? Is it the new trends history? Like, tell the people, what do you like the most? I am totally curious because it's also good feedback for me. And I'm telling you right now, another spot I'm extremely interested in today. And I know I'm not a big fan of using the projections for overs. I'm just not. However, Darius Garland, if his minutes continue to climb, which I really believe they will, they need him. Outside of Kawhi, it's like Benedict Mathurin and, Darius Garland to score and distribute and create. And Garland can create. So what I like about Garland is he can pop. He can pop for 10 assists, 12 assists. Like, he can distribute. And that helps out for when he has a lower scoring game. If he goes out there and scores 12 points tonight, but he gets 10 assists, which he very well could, he's still going to hit the over 21.5 points and assists. He has the ceiling. And I talk about this before. If you take a combo market bet, you better be taking a player who has a nice elite ceiling in both categories. I'm not taking a points and assists if the guy always hovers around his points line, right? 12.5 points. He's like 11, 13, 14, 10, 15, 9. I want a guy who's like, I'd rather have a guy who goes for like 8 points or 25 assists at 6.5. I don't want to see 5, 6, 7 assists every single game. I want to see something like this. Here's Garland. He can go for 35. He can go for 27, 26, 20, 29, 22, 23, 20, 21. And that's with a points line of 15.5. That's a great ceiling. How about the assist? At 5.5 assists, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10, 11, 8, 8, 8, 8. Constantly going over. By the way, those 2 8s are... No, one of the 8s, this is the 4 games with the Clippers. 7, a stinker against Golden State, which I'm fine with, downers. And then bang, clears it by 3 at 5.5, clears it by 3, 6, 7, 8. Like, give me that ceiling. So then when you play the combo market, you've got 2 angles to hit the over. Let's see, chat. What do they all say? What do they like the most? Projections is where it's at. That's where I live. I'm a big projections guy. Like, I love it. Yesterday's bet unders on the A grades went 23-7. 23-7. Transparency and results. Transparency is great, but if the results suck, it's useless. NBA unders. All A's. Yesterday. Here's your A's to the under. Here's the season. So I've been telling people to not touch the rebounds or points and rebounds. Because look, here's why. Now you can visualize why. Let me zoom in for you. Look, I'm on PC, so there's a PC view. This is why. Why am I betting on that? Why am I betting on this? I'll dabble in PRAs, but I absolutely love assist A unders, rebound assist unders with A grades, points and assist unders with A grades, points unders A grades. Let me see if there's any good overs. Assists overs actually has a higher win rate than rebounds and points and rebounds unders. How funny is that? It's just a great category, assist star in our model. I mean, theoretically, theoretically, you could look at the overs, and anytime you see an A to the over, you could just reverse it. You know, like you could legitimately look at this and be like, wow, a points and assist A over. I'm just gonna take the under, and then you reverse it and have a 55% probability of success based on previous results. That's funny. I'm just goofing. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing that. But I digress. For the fifth time. Points to assist, Darius Garland. Matchup, I don't think is great. But I kind of like that because we're getting a competitive game. 20.5. Look, he's available at 20.5 on Hard Rock at -115. BetMGM -115. So if you're going to play it anywhere, I think that this goes for. I think the best line you're taking is 20.5. Great odds because look, when you go up to 21.5, you're getting similar odds across the board. Yes, of course it does, Don. What happens is, like, let's say projections change, you know, someone gets ruled out and all of a sudden someone's projections go up. Earlier in the day, we had them for an under. Later in the day, we have them for an over. Well, they're going to go 1-1. So they're going to receive a grade for their letter and the sides. Like everything's accounted for. Do you see what I'm saying? So essentially they're going to negate themselves if there's an injury that rules somebody out. I think NBA is probably the only sport that's going to be a thing in. I just can't envision any other issues, you know, like thinking like NFL, like that's not going to happen. You know, it's rare. It's rare. Oh man. I'm scrolling back up. So projections where it's at, hammering the the EV. Yep. Positive EV plays every morning. Love it. Last night too. You do a late night, you're going to get the best pick'em plays. We'll look at some pick'em next too. And we're going to look at the positive expected value optimizer too. The whole thing is filthy good. Appreciate that, Jason. Thank you. Torn between the projections and trends. I feel you. Listen, if you use the trends correctly, you can make bank. You just got to use them right. Positive EV tool is your way to go, as it should be if you like math. Projections combined with the grades, being able to sort by unders or money. Love it. If more than 40% of the A assist overs are plus money, if more than 40% of the assist A overs are plus money. I got you. So you're saying the problem is the books usually tax the overs. You ever notice that? Like your overs get taxed. It's the unders that are a value. So not only that, if you really think about it, not only do our projections to the under do much better, but you're usually getting the better side of the line. You feel like, Josh Hart over 4.5 assists, hey, let's just look at him. Like he's always a sneaky one. Let's sort by unders. Oh, so we don't even have an under for him today. Actually, I forgot. I can just search players. All right, Josh Hart. I mean, look, so 4.5 to the over. Let's go to assist market. Oh, it's actually plus odds. So this would back up what you're saying. So to the under, it's okay. Never mind. I see what you're saying. So you're saying you don't need a higher win rate because you're getting plus odds. But I still believe that most of the time your unders are going to be plus odds, or at least closer to even most of the time. But of course, that's a case by case basis. Is this just a random loose thing I've thought of? And is it actually factual, or is it totally off? I guess it depends on the market. So, like, here's one: Jalen Brunson over 6.5, heavy juice to the over, heavy juice to the over. But look at the under. The value. I don't know. Maybe I just made that up. That, most of the overs are taxed. Yo, what's up, same old? Appreciate that. Just signed up and loving the projections. That makes me so happy. Hey, Donuts, what is the plus? Oh, yeah. All right, optimizer. Let's see. Is there any underdog plays? Actually, let's look at Novig first, because I want to look at Novig for something here. And I actually want to look at Novig unders. NBA only. I don't want NHL. I can't do it yet. All right. A lot of plays here. Is this what you're talking about? The fair odds? Maybe just clarify for me, Nick, and I'll return to you, okay? No way, bro. Hitting 8-leg on underdog. Let's go. VIP. I love that. That makes me so happy. I'm over the moon happy right now with this product. And because of what's coming down the pipeline, like, it's going to be absurd. I think, honestly, this is going to be one of the best tools in the entire industry. All right, hold on. Let me show you something before I dive into the EV optimizer, because look at this column over here on Underdog, or excuse me, on Novig. I am honestly looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, yes. I mean, Novig honestly is the best exchange out there. I'm telling you right now. Like, I ain't blowing, hot air up your butt here. And I talked about this on Friday's live show. Like, I have so many companies reach out because of my 50,000 subscriber YouTube. And they're like, hey, we'll give you XYZ dollars to promote our app, our sports book, our pick'em site, our exchange. Literally every exchange is reaching out to me these days. And I'm pushing Novig back to you all because I believe they're the best. They're the best. They've got a huge array of options. I think 35 plus states you can play them in. They got great plays and great returns. Because look at this. I thought of this one when I loaded up the site this morning. Let me talk through this one really quick. This right now might be one of the best bets I've found out there. This play is amazing at plus 312. Here's why. So the NBA has a rule where if you miss 66 games, because you can miss you have to play 65 games, not missing 66. So you'd miss 17. You can miss 17 games, finish with 65 played. If you miss an 18th, it's over. You're cooked. You're no longer eligible for end of the season awards. The NBA has a problem because of all the people that are out. They're already missing. So many players are ineligible. Giannis, LeBron, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler. Like, yes, these guys are probably not going to win regardless, but it still states the fact that we have issues. Luka Doncic, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brunson. Like, these guys are all so close to also, being the MVP right now, despite the fact that I don't think they've earned it. I've got an article up that highlights these players. There's people who are on the verge of missing eligibility. Luka, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker. We have basically a top 5 list of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who can only miss 5 games. Now, there's not a lot of games left in the season, but that's legit. That's an issue. Bro turns an ankle, sprains a knee. He just missed like 12 games. What if he gets hurt again? Re-injures. That play right there is a plus 312. You're betting on him to stay healthy, essentially, if you take him to win the MVP. And I think there's value at plus 312 for Shai not to win it. You could essentially sprinkle on that or run out Jokic or Cunningham, who I think actually might be the best bet on the entire MVP list here, because Jokic can only miss one more game because he missed so many already. Can only miss one more. So SGA can miss 5 more games and still win MVP. But again, NBA rolls an ankle, lands on someone's foot, on a 3-point attempt, rolls an ankle. He's out for 6 games. That's it. He can't win MVP. Jokic next up. If he misses just 2 games, he can miss 2. He can only miss one more. If he misses 2 games, remember he just missed a bunch for his knee. Didn't he? Yeah, he's been in and out with a knee injury. So if his knee acts up and he misses 2 games, bang, just like that, SGA is gone. Jokic, get him for plus 1,000 here. That's a nice play. But what if he gets hurt? Well, then you got him. You got Cunningham at 17-18 odds, plus 17-18. I mean, it's worth a little sprinkle, isn't it? Like, I'm not taking no for these guys. I'm essentially just no, yes, and yes. If SGA ends up winning it at minus 322, fine, whatever. Like, I got a little bit of money on bang, bang, bang. Also, by the way, we already bet on SGA inside Discord to win the MVP at some time earlier this season at like plus 165. So it's not even a problem. We're going to win out no matter what. But I'm just saying, I found that to be interesting. It was the first tab I saw. Good job on Novig putting it up there on the site. Right there, and I can't get away from it. So it's in my face. It got me thinking, and I wanted to talk about it. I think that's a really, really interesting play on Novig, and I just wanted to highlight it before we got to the optimizer and all that stuff. Novig is king. It is so good. It is so good. But back to my point, I could push every app under the sun to try to make some more money for myself with all these partnerships and just not go exclusive ever. Just never exclusivity. Just make so much money on all my referral codes and links to 15 sites and apps. But I don't. I have 2 that I push. 2 that I support back as they support me and they give me referral codes and I give it to you. You get hooked up on the best places. I get a kickback for the referral. That's how business works. And I'm not going to hide behind it. It's exactly what it is. There's the Novig link right there if you want to try it out. If you want to try them out, I think it's worth. You can use code DONUTS. You get a nice little hookup on your deposit. I get a little kickback for supporting them. And you get on the best exchange out there, most widely available with the best plays. And the best part about it, is my tool is built for Novig as one of the best places to play. And all our picks inside Discord, the majority of them you can play on Novig. So yeah, I'm going to support an app like Novig because I think they're the best. Instead of doing 15 apps and trying to get a referral code grab for 15 apps every day, you see that it bothers me on X. You see it on X. Use code XYZ on this new app on Tuesday. Available in 30 places. Wednesday comes along. Use this code for this new app. They're getting kickbacks from 10, 12, 15 places, and they don't believe they're the best. Those are money grabs. If that's how they want to conduct themselves, fine. And so be it. I want to push you to the best places. Underdog, 3.5x payouts. Why am I pushing any other pick'em app? Until the other pick'em apps catch up and increase their payouts, and they're also on par with what Underdog is right now, why would I push them? For referral money? That's a disservice to you. You shouldn't be playing anywhere with a less payout. So no, I'm not chasing referral money over pushing you to the proper places to bet. I'm just not. Anyways, I digress. I got out of my soapbox a little bit there, I think. I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to throw shade. I just want to do what's right. So whenever you see me use Novig, an Underdog, you could use code DONUTS on there if you want to check them out. But they're the only 2 I'm going to push because I think they're the best. And I'm only going to push what's the best for you all. Oh, man. How did I go down that path? I guess I just follow the thought streams on these shows, huh? We have 33 likes on today's video or a live show on the new channel. If you could hit subscribe for me, because again, this is not the OG channel. This is brand new. You are not watching me on the other one. Whew. Man, I yapped hard there. All right, so no vig odd bands. This is something I talked about recently. I'm a huge fan of this. So making it give you minus 110 or shorter fair odds, I think is really interesting. Now, of course, you could, you want longer odds plays. Don't close off the band here. You can do like a minimum or something, but don't close it off. But I think this is interesting because, conceptually, what this will do for you, it's going to give you plays that, have a pretty high implied probability, like a minus 141 implied probability is crazy. Like it's a what is that? I can't do it off the top of my head. 58% implied probability of success, something like that, right? The tangents are real. I know. I'm very passionate. And when you're getting a value on those lines, I always find them to be interesting. And when you check those players, very frequently, they're going to be supported also by multiple things. Number one, projections. Number two, trends. It's kind of like the perfect marriage of all three things I want. I want to see a number that they struggle to do. I want to see projections support it. And then I want good odds, first and foremost. I want a good percentage of value here. So my expected value on, Guy Santos, you just signed a nice contract for the Warriors. They paid him handsomely. Like I used the bands here, the odds bands, which I don't know if any other site is doing this. I think this is very unique to us. Under 3.5 assists. Fantastic here on Novik. Deep link, bet it. I mean, bang. Opens right up in the app. There it is. Guy Santos, under 3.5 assists, minus 125. Literally showing you right here. Anyways, you click his name and you go look at this. Let's see. Projections. Do they support? Yes. Projected for 3. Now, I think sometimes we might want to do a little bit more beyond that. And this might be one of those that maybe I'm not feeling as good about. Why? Because it's against the Utah Jazz. And it's the end of the season. And the Jazz are literally just rolling over and dying. Like the Kings, the Jazz. Some of these teams, they want to lose. It's called tanking. If you've never watched the NBA at the end of the season, these teams legitimately are horrific on purpose. The Pelicans. So you find a really good EV percentage, like Chitty's saying, 3.7%. Great. What's next? What should we go look at? All right. We check his projections out. Okay. Projections do like the under. And then lastly, how have they been doing? Well, here's where it gets convoluted. His minutes lately, and again, I'm very zoomed in right now. Was 150%? So I'm zoomed in, so it looks nice on mobile for you. By the way, you can maybe I'll just load up mobile for you in a hot minute, and we'll view this in mobile next. How about that? So if you want to see what it's like. Minutes though. Gui's starting to play a ton of minutes. So let's say we put him at 30 because 3 games straight, 31, 42, 37. Like this is just his new role. All right. Well, he doesn't have a ton of games this season playing 30 plus. He just doesn't. But boy, is this going to be sweaty. 7, 2, 4. And look at the defense. Pelicans, wretched. 4. Easy money. Clippers, tough defense. 3. Boston, tough defense. Only 2. Houston, tough defense. Had 6. Thunder, tough defense. Had 3. Now we're getting a guy who's done pretty well against some tough defenses. And now he's against Utah? And probably playing 30 plus minutes. Yeah, that's tough. Because look at our projection. We have him projected for 26.8. That's what the model simulated. But however, if we think that's wrong and we're like, nah, I don't know, man. I think he's going to play 32 today. I mean, look, at 32.8 minutes, or, remember, Mitch, I aggregate projections. I have him for 33.6. Okay, type in 33.6. This is no longer a good bet. because at 33.6 minutes, our model even also would not like the under. So yeah, I think at this point in the season, it's a grind. If you're betting on the NBA, it's a little grind. I think you need to do a little bit more than just, click blindly bet. I don't think you can blindly bet anymore. I think everything needs you gotta review it a little bit. Does that make sense? Here, let me set up this mobile view. Might as well. I'm sure people want to see it. How's it look on mobile? So I learned I literally only need to minimize the screen for the mobile web app to kick in. This is pretty cool. Let me figure this out. Somebody showed me this the other day. All right, so I'd have to adjust let me just boop. All right, so that's a little wider than I want it. I'll have to adjust my camera size. Update layout. Does that work? Let's do it. We're going to do it live. We're going to figure this out live. This is a new channel. I got to figure this stuff out. Save. Update layout. There we go. I knew I'd figure it out. Figure out everything. I'm a smart boy. I'm a brilliant bald boy. All right, there you go. That's how it looks on mobile. So everything we're working on today, it's going to have slightly different views, but I think they're good. I think in some ways they might be cleaner. It just depends on the user. What do you want to see? Now, I don't stream like this on my YouTube because I think that, most of you, if you're on mobile, you're getting a mobile view and then you're getting a sliver of what I'm trying to show you on your cell phone. That's not conducive to a good experience, in my opinion. But you probably should see it's pretty slick. Pops open. You want to see different filters, games. All right, 10 games, 10 game filters. You can deep link the odds. It still works the same. Projections. And by the way, we're adding stuff to this. This is ground floor again. Everything you see on the site. This is literally just it's the bare minimum for us. It's the basics so that we can get live. That's all. That's all this is. You want to bounce around and look at different players? You can still do that right there in the player cards. I don't even think I showed people that today. On the player cards, you can literally you can stay in the player card view and look at every single player, every single game, every single market, and not use any other part of the site. In there, you'll see all the projections. You'll see all the odds. You'll see their trends. There ain't many products like this out there. I honestly think this is one of one. I just do. Rebounds and assists. SGA has been interesting to the under. It is a C grade, but it is projected for 11. It's a C plus to the under. Problem with SGA is, how many minutes you're going to get out of him each and every night. Threes to the under have been amazing. He started off the season cashing them left and right. You're actually getting decent odds today. I find this to be very interesting. When is the last time you've seen SGA at a minus 150 or so for under 1.5 threes? He does. Look at his 3-point volume. It's not even that high anymore. 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1. He has some games where he's going to go 1 for 1, 1 for 2, 1 for 3, or 0 for 2, and not even have one. That is not the volume. In the beginning of the year, he was shooting 7 or 8. He was making 2 or 3 per game. He's kind of stopped. So do I like betting those odds? No, not really. But listen, a minus 147 is not horrific. Minus 146 now. That is not bad. This is that's Novig. So this is not going to be the mobile web app. That's just going to be for my site. So listen, we just kind of stumbled upon it because I was clicking around the player cards. How the projections look here with mobile. Let me show you. So we already filtered out for Josh Hart. You can just remove him. And let's look at unders. Again, it's no Michael Porter Jr. today, I believe. Model still thinks there's value in Terrence Mann to the under, Dayron Sharp to the under, Nicholas Claxton to the under for their points. They're all A's. But the problem is, what if they all go out there and play 30 minutes and have a higher usage rate because of no Michael Porter Jr.? Cam Thomas is gone, right? Like if that happens, they're dangerous. That being said, a bunch of them cashed yesterday for the Bucks. The Bucks. A bunch cashed yesterday for the Bucks. Well, now I wish I had my PC view on. Gosh darn it. Here, let's do this. Because it was just not a good game. It didn't even matter that Giannis and all those guys were out. Usman, Dang for the Bucks. Plays 10th or 11th game. He had 5 under projections. He hooked, I believe, the RA. He finished with 9. Everything else cashed. Under for rebounds, under for PR, under for PA, under for PRA. Ryan Rollins, all 4 of his A bets. Under. Everything cashed. So you got some unders today for the A's. But they're going to be clustered on some of these injury-riddled teams. Got to be careful. Terrence Mann points under is even money. Beautiful. Beautiful. Chad, is this show helpful? It's always weird trying to grow out a new channel with a new direction. Like, I very much want this channel to be, I want to bet. I want to build bets, build out slips. I want to find gems. And I want to do this for NBA. I want to do it for MLB. Like, that's kind of the goal. That's kind of the goal here. Is there even any underdog right now? I don't think so. All right, let me open up the DFS Optimizer, see if we have any. This is in testing beta mode on the back end. Well, I don't even know if you would call that beta because it's just for me. Wow. There's just no value. I guess that will happen when it's a garbage slate like this. Five-game slate, crummy teams, just nothing there. I mean, you saw the sports books, no big. That's going to happen. Those pick'em apps just aren't going to have as much sometimes, man. They're just not. I've even got the optimizer open on another tab for me, and nothing crazy is popping up. Like, nothing worth highlighting. Knowledge is power. All right. So, yeah, I mean, my plan, with the other YouTube channels, I just want to be year-round NFL. I want to make, sports betting videos for NFL. I want to do NFL off-season content, just NFL, 365 days a year, or 12 months a year at the very least. And then this channel is your daily. You want to bet today? Me too. Let's pop open the site and see if we can find any value. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, under 1.5 threes. I found that to be extremely interesting. We stumbled into that. I made a parlay in the beginning for a plus 116, I believe it was. I think it's centered around Case and Wallace assists and some other stuff. So kind of nuts, man. Kind of nuts, to separate the two channels when the other one had 50K subs. Like, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, but I want the channels to be very focused. Like, if you're watching this channel, you're watching because you're trying to bet that day on baseball in June, right? Or NBA in March. You're watching the other channel, well, you're betting on the NFL, or you want to keep pace on NFL offseason stuff, topics, things like that. Is there a chance of hiding? Yeah, that's in the works. Yeah, hiding bets, clustering bets. Like, yeah, we got some more stuff working on. The projections history was really a heavy lift. I mean, we're talking about some of these sports with multiple years of data, so it was a heavy lift. That's taken up a lot of our time recently to just make sure that this extremely robust thing was here for you. so that anytime you opened up the projections, you had confidence in what you were betting on. So now we can move on to some other tasks, I should say. We got to get the DFS Optimizer live. I've got another massive product, probably the best one will ever have come out with. Better than everything you see here, better than the DFS Optimizer. We didn't even list it here because I don't want my competitors to know. But I'll be showing you what that is soon. And then I'll launch the add-ons. I'm pumped, though. That link, mysprearedge.com, you're going to love it. 1 hour. I gave you an hour. I meant to give you 30 minutes. First stream I did lasted 90 minutes. The last 3 streams have lasted 1 hour. I'm going to try to keep them to 30 minutes. You know, just bang, bang, bang. Here's some information, some bets, some projections. Let's just quickly look at the projections tab and then get out of here. Let's find, A's. I want A's, unders. They're dangerous today. No assists. Unders are going to be on the Nets, which is scary because no Michael Porter Jr., no Cam Thomas. A couple unders for points here. Also Nets. Best assist unders. I mean, they're the Sixers with no Embiid, with no Maxey. There's no rebounds and assist unders. I've never seen that at A and B. PA, again, still just Trayer for what's his face for the Nets. So again, like I'm telling you right now, it is a horrific day to bet on. Like, I can't begin to tell you. It's disgusting. I mean, it is a gross day. That's in the works too, T-Bone. It's already on our roadmap, DVP. We have all the data. I mean, inside Discord, you can use the VIP, the bots, the DVP bots for now. But yeah, we've got the data. It's all going to go onto the site. It's down here. Let me show you. Everyone has access to this. So you can use this for now if you want just the outliers. But yeah, we'll be adding DVP stuff to the cards as well. Here's what I was talking about bouncing around. Like, if you don't want to leave the player cards, you can just stay in the player cards, see the odds, the projections, like everything. We're trying to make the player cards like a one-stop shop. Like, ultimately, someday we'll probably add EV stuff right inside the player cards, so you never have to leave them. Like, if you just want to, I want to go look at Denver now. I really want to research Jamal Murray. Like, you can just stay here. So that's the goal. It's going to take a while, though. Everything takes money and time. MySperryEdge.com. Code donuts on Novig and Underdog. Again, I'm telling you, I'm only supporting what I think's the best out there. Hopefully you do the same and support me. Check out mysperryedge.com. I'll be back tomorrow. We had a beautiful slate. I think it's like 11 games or something. So we should be able to find way more bets. Today was very much like difficult in the muck and mire research. I'm not entirely thrilled with it. I don't know if I'll have a single official bet personally. Will there be projections and model officials? Yeah, probably. But I don't know, y'all. This is a disgusting slate. The closest one to an official I could walk away with from this show would be going right back to the well with Darius Garland over 21.5 points and assists. But like, that's as close as it gets right now for me. Anyways, I love y'all. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Turn your notifications on, 9 a.m., same time, same place on this new channel. All right? It ain't the 50K one. It's the 5K one. So subscribe if you're new, if you're just catching on. And I'll be back tomorrow morning. MySperryEdge.com. Peace. Good show, though. Thank you.